Website needs improvement error. If you're facing this error on your Google Merchant Center, that means you're trying to get your products listed on Google Shopping free listings, then this is the video for you to watch. I'm going to explain to you exactly what's causing this issue, why Google has this new policy on website needs improvement, and what you need to do or make changes to your store so you can make your store eligible for Google Shopping free listings. Hi, I'm Clarice Lin, the ROI doctor who helps small businesses and online stores get more sales and traffic by getting on Google and YouTube page 1. In today's video, I'm going to talk about this new policy update by Google. Website needs improvement. What is website needs improvement error? Back in May 2021, Google announced a new policy changes update. So there will be a new error that's called website needs improvement. Basically, they want online store owners, Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, anyone who has an online store, all of their store needs to adhere to a certain level of professional and editorial standards. Basically, what it means is Google wants your store to look presentable, wants your store to look trustworthy, wants your store to create an experience for shoppers. So when Google shows your store products on Google Shopping and users come to your store and they really like what they found, it means that they will continue to go back to Google Shopping to use their feature when they want to shop. Basically, they want to create a win-win situation. So it's a win for you as an owner and it will be a win for Google as well, so they will keep their users. Essentially, what you need to do as a Shopify store owner is to make it presentable, just like anyone who has a physical store. If you have a shop, you want to create a good, neat, tidy storefront. People can see what your store is selling. People will see that your store is clean, looks pleasant. They want to come inside. That's the same for online store as well. You need to be presentable. You need to have the right text. You need to have the right images. You need to present everything in a specific way that makes the shopper enjoy the entire experience. And of course, trust your products and hopefully buy from you. And of course, if your store is not meeting these requirements, then your store will be suspended from Google Shopping, which means that you can't have any Google Shopping free traffic coming to your site. If you want to tap into this Google Shopping free traffic, then you want to make sure that you're doing your store, doing it up correctly, properly, accurately, so your store is meeting the minimal standards set by Google. What are the different guidelines you need to do if you encounter this error on Google Merchant? So Google has listed out a page all by itself where they list out all the different guidelines and have grouped them into 6 different categories so you can better understand why is your store not meeting the standards. I'm sure you can read the page by itself, but as we know that Google sometimes doesn't give very clear or detailed explanation, so in my video, I'm going to go into a little bit more into what they mean when they talk about the different guidelines. So follow on with me to get a clear explanation, and I also go into examples to give a better illustration. So category number 1 is useful. So your store needs to be useful. It needs to have all the right information that's needed for a functioning store. So if a shopper comes to your store, what will they be expecting? So there are a few things that falls under useful. First, if you have pop-up that's blocking the view of the user doing something, like maybe you have a very annoying pop-up that keeps asking for an email, so users can't really click on what they want to look at. So this is not very useful, and if Google finds that, it will suspend your website. Or if you have links on your website and then when the user clicks on it, it's not working properly, or you're sending them to an error page, which means that your store pages haven't been fully constructed. So that's a no-no as well. And of course, if you don't have the full amount of information needed for your store, you don't have your store information, maybe you don't have a good refund policy, all of this is also important for a shopper. So you want to put that in. If it's not there, then you're not providing useful information, you're not meeting the standards. And also, if your pages are loading too slowly, maybe it's taking, like someone clicks on it and they're waiting 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, and it's still not loading, you're not providing a good experience, then you're also out. And of course, if you want the user to download something, for example, if you want them to download like a page before they can actually buy a product, is also not allowed by Google. So please don't do any of this. And once you fix all of this information, then you would have fulfilled the usefulness of your store criteria. The second category that Google wants your store to fulfill is the spelling and grammar. you are presenting your store in English, so make sure you have the correct spelling, you're communicating correctly, you have the right grammar in place. If you have problems and English is not your first language, you can look at the different tools. For example, like using Grammarly to do like a spell check to make sure all your spelling is correct. Because any of this spelling error, it makes your store seem untrustworthy. So you want to present a trustworthy front. That's Google's criteria. So make sure you do your own spelling check, make sure it's correct. And if you're using any punctuation, don't overdo the punctuation. Don't go around adding exclamation mark to your maybe product title or your product description. You're thinking you want to get people's attention, so you're putting a lot of exclamation mark. That's also not allowed. If it's not needed, you shouldn't put like an exclamation mark or question mark that you're trying to put in this punctuation mark to grab attention. That's not allowed. So please do your grammar checks properly. Make sure you're using the right punctuation mark. If you're having your product title, it should be ideally in title case. They don't want them to be all in capital letters. Your description should be in normal format, because yes, maybe you think you want to grab your customers' attention by putting them all in capital letters, but Google doesn't like that. Okay, you don't do these little gimmicks. Gimmicks is a sign of untrustworthiness, so you don't want that. And of course, not missing out is putting emojis. It's not encouraged to put any emojis in your product description or your product title as well, because the product title is going to appear on Google Shopping and they only allow text, definitely no emojis. So if you have that, please remove it. That's a basic criteria by Google. Google doesn't want everything to look unprofessional. Product title means only text, so please stick to that. Category number 3, unclear relevance. So there are many people who try to trick the algorithm. They put like a title for the product itself and then they have a different picture altogether. So when someone looks at the title, maybe they come looking at your store and then they see a different picture. So if you say t-shirt and then you have a picture of a t-shirt and a shoe together, it's definitely very misleading. You don't want to do that. Have a clear picture of the shirt. Maybe you can have the shoe as not the main picture. You could say, okay, this is for accompaniment only, but your main picture should ideally be clear what you're selling. The title, product title, your description, and your picture should be matching. If your title, description, and images put together, they are creating confusion for your shopper, then that's a no-no. So please make sure you're not causing any confusion. Category number 4, style requirement. Make sure that you have a standard way of putting up all this information, the title and the description, how you describe each of your products should ideally be consistent. Make it the same, so any store visitors who come to look at your products will know, okay, they are from the same store. If the way you're presenting all this information looks totally different, there is no consistency, then Google doesn't like it as well, because you're creating untrustworthiness. If you don't have a certain level of consistency, you know, using the same fonts, using the same title, the way you describe your product should ideally be the same. If it's not the same, then to Google, that's a signal of untrustworthiness. Let's say, for example, if you have you're selling t-shirts, you're selling blue t-shirt, so you might have a pink t-shirt. So if you have the color in front, you want to have the same consistency. You don't want to have blue t-shirt and then the next thing t-shirt pink. So that means you're inconsistent. That's an example. So make sure you don't do that. Make sure the way you are titling your product and the way you're describing it is similar across all your different products. Also, if your products are not up yet or it's not ready, please don't publish those products. Products that are published or they are found on your store should be products that people can buy. If it's a placeholder, your product is not ready yet, you don't have the picture yet, then don't publish that page itself. Only publish the products that you're ready to sell. What I noticed, some of the store owners, what they do is the product's not ready and then they put placeholder 1. Okay, that's not a product, so you don't really want to have that on your store. If your products are not ready to be sold, then leave it in draft mode. Category number 5, domain safety. You want to provide a safe environment so shoppers can trust you with their credit card information, can trust you with their card details, personal details. So you want to make sure that your store is secured. Make sure you have all the safety signals on your store as well, having the credit card and telling them the information will be protected. And of course, on your browser, you should have the safety sign So it tells the users that your store is safe, they can safely come to your store. Category number 6, your product details needs to be accurate, it needs to be complete. If you haven't filled up description for your product, please put that in. Let's say if you have selling trousers, you need to have like the length of the trousers, the waist length of the trousers. So all this information should be complete, should be part of your store. You shouldn't have duplicate. For example, if you have one product itself and you duplicate it to be 3 different products and trying to give it a slightly different name, it's not allowed. If you have only one type of product, you only have one product page. Make sure you do that. If it's not, Google doesn't like it, and if Google doesn't like it, it could result in a penalty. That's the Google Merchant's Error, which is website needs to be improved. So these are different areas that you can work on to improve on the pages of your store, on the presentation of your store, make your store trustworthy, help your store users feel safe when they come to your store, so they want to buy and they feel safe in handing you their personal details and credit card details. And that's it. That's the 6 different categories of different guidelines your store needs to adhere to if you have a Shopify or WooCommerce store. So fix all of that, then go back to Google and tell them that you have completed your changes and ask them to review again, and wait for them to look through your store, review your store before they click on approve. It will take like a few days or even a week or 2 before they will come back to you. You've been a little bit patient with that. Once it's approved, then you can start getting Google Shopping free listings traffic. And if you're struggling to get more traffic to your store, you can check out my other video right here where I talk about how you can get alternative traffic to your store without running ads. So that will be a useful video if you're not ready to run ads. However, if you are thinking of running Facebook ads and you are thinking of how to reduce the Facebook ad budgets, you can also check out my other video right here where I talk about the different ways to reduce your Facebook ad campaigns. So that will be useful for you. And if you don't have a marketing budget for your store, you might want to check out my other video right here where I explain to you why you need to plan for a marketing budget and what are the different things you need to consider as part of your marketing budget so you actually get more sales. Do check out this video right here. That's going to be important for you as you go about your year. Many people have found it useful because they didn't really know about planning a budget in the first place, and they don't quite know what to spend if they decide to get more traffic and get more sales. They're not quite sure how it works, so that will be a useful video for you to check out. So please check that out. If you want to learn about the various online marketing channels you can leverage on to grow your store and get more store visitors, I have created a Shopify marketing guide where I talk about the pros and cons of the different marketing channels and how you can use that to get more store visitors. So check that out. You can download it. It's a 25-page PDF file, and you can find the link down in the description and pinned comment, so do check that out. And if you need one-on-one support to get more traffic and sales for your WooCommerce and Shopify store, then check out my services page right in the description and pinned comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, found useful and helpful for your store, please give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos on how to get more traffic and more sales for your Shopify and WooCommerce store. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Yeah.